Chosen one, let your heart become as quiet as the midnight sky, for a moment of profound truth is hovering close, ready to descend into your life with breathtaking finality. Only one night is left. Stay ready, for in the hush of these waning hours, destiny has set the stage for a climactic shift that defies all the struggles you have known. Before you fully engage with this revelation, I invite you to do 3 simple things. Like this video, subscribe if you have not yet, and comment 777 below. By performing these gestures, you are sending a signal to heaven and earth that your spirit stands prepared to welcome the extraordinary conclusion that awaits you when this final night melts into dawn. Consider the winding path you have trodden so far, all the twists and unmarked forks that led you to places of heartbreak or triumph. Perhaps you never suspected that your journey would culminate in a single defining moment, but here you are, perched at the threshold of transformation so monumental that even the stars seem to hold their breath. In the tapestry of life's events, God often reserves a finale that overshadows every prologue. A final movement that gathers all the scattered notes of your past into a symphony of revelation. This is where you find yourself now, singled out by a force that sees your potential more clearly than any human eye ever could. Comment 777 if your heart resonates with this sense of culmination, if you detect a hush in your spirit that whispers of an imminent unveiling. Each digit typed is a solemn acknowledgement. You understand that only one night remains before a dawn unlike any you have known. We often imagine that major breakthroughs arrive through bright announcements or long, predictable processes, but the divine delights in defying human schedules. Sometimes it chooses the twilight hours, when your defenses are lowered and your hope flickers uncertainly, to unleash blessings that rewrite your entire existence. So trust that if you have felt an unexplainable restlessness, if your sleep has been disturbed by unnameable anticipation, you stand on the very brink of your final step. Yet let us address the magnitude of what final step implies. It does not merely denote an ending, but rather a leap into an unprecedented beginning. Once this night is behind you, the entire landscape of your life could shift in ways that dwarf your strongest imaginations. Think of it as the universe orchestrating a grand finale, the type that upends every assumption and redeems every tear you have shed. For perhaps you believed you missed your chance, or that your heartbreak permanently lowered your ceiling of possibility. But such beliefs crumble under the weight of a cosmic plan that not even your darkest doubts can derail. Your heartbreak, your setbacks, your lonely hours, all were forging the steel of your soul, making you ready for a blessing so immense your past self might have run from it in fear. Comment 777 again if you have ever suspected that your failures and heartaches were preparation, not punishment. Each digit typed is a testament to the gentle assurance that your hardest lessons have cleared a path for the pinnacle that awaits you. In the hush of this final night, everything aligns, like puzzle pieces converging at the precise moment. The universe has no interest in toying with your affections or your endurance. Every trial has been necessary to mold your character, to refine your perspective, to ensure that when dawn breaks, you can steward your new reality without squandering it. But why must it be so dramatic? Why wait until the very last night? The better question might be, how else could grace display its brilliance if not by defying human logic? The final step is often preceded by a sense of pressing tension, the kind that visits your dreams with cryptic images or wraps around your mind during your quiet moments, reminding you that a shift of colossal magnitude is imminent. It is precisely this tension that fosters readiness, prompting your heart to attune itself to a frequency beyond mundane apprehensions. And in that alignment, you open yourself to the unstoppable tide of favor that floods in when your faith and timing converge. Let no cynic or skeptic dissuade you from believing that the greatest transformations can happen overnight. In the timeline of the divine, even a single night can be the womb of miraculous upheaval. Comment 777. If your faith dares to trust that the impossible can flourish in a few short hours. Each digit typed says you are done measuring possibility by human metrics, done letting practicality smother the glimmers of the miraculous. Yes, you may have grown used to heartbreak or adversity, but if you peer into your spirit, you will find a spark that refuses to die. That spark flickers more brightly now, acknowledging that with only one night left, your final step hovers within reach, waiting for you to claim it. Yet, do not mistake the closeness of the hour for a guarantee that everything will simply fall into your lap. The final step demands your active participation, a willingness to cast aside cynicism, a determination to hold your inner posture of readiness, no matter what the external circumstances reveal. Possibly, life might look calm or even bleak, giving you no outward sign that your culminating blessing stands mere hours away. That is the paradox. Often, the biggest breakthroughs come disguised in the ordinary or masked by adversity. The question is whether you can nurture your faith in that hidden interval, trusting that God works, even when your senses detect no movement. Comment 777. Once more, if you vow to trust through the hush, through the unassuming face of your current circumstances, each digit typed is your anchor in the swirling waters of the unknown. By choosing unwavering faith, you defy the illusions of stagnation that might lull you into despair. Remember, illusions shatter easily under the force of divine intention. The universe can reorder your reality at the blink of an eye, and your role is to stand poised at the threshold, allowing that reordering to happen without resistance. Let us also consider the cost of inaction. If you disregard the sense of urgency that saturates these final hours, you risk missing the crescendo for which your entire path has prepared you. This is not alarmist talk. It is simply acknowledging that timing matters. The universe aligns people, resources, and events in a delicate dance. If you are absent from the stage when your cue arrives, the performance might move on without you. That does not mean your life ends or that no blessings remain. It means you forfeit a pivotal moment that could have accelerated your destiny's unfolding. So stay vigilant. Keep your spiritual ears open, your eyes watchful for even subtle signals. Step into each waking minute with the quiet readiness of someone expecting a life-altering visitor. Comment 777. If you accept the responsibility that readiness demands, each digit typed asserts that you refuse to let this culminating moment pass you by, that you stand guard over your spirit like a watchman scanning the horizon for the first ray of a new dawn. In doing so, you align your entire being, your thoughts, your words, your prayers, with the unstoppable wave that is already swelling, waiting to break upon the shore of your life. Timing is not an afterthought, but the golden thread that knits your upcoming miracle. You may question whether you possess the strength to handle such an intense transition. After all, leaps of faith can be daunting, especially when they unfold overnight. But recall every time you persevered, every instance you rose from defeat you once thought final. Those victories etched resilience into your bones. If you feel shaky or unqualified, rest in the knowledge that divine empowerment often falls upon humble vessels. Indeed, it is in humble vessels that grace shines most brightly, for the credit clearly belongs to a higher power rather than personal might. Your humility, your willingness to be guided, renders you the ideal recipient of a final step that transforms everything in the blink of an eye. Comment 777. If you embrace this synergy of humility and expectation, allowing each digit type to dismantle the last residues of fear that might sabotage your readiness, in that synergy, you become an open channel for the blessings aiming your way. Resist the temptation to overanalyze. The final night you face is not about your intellect deciphering every step. but your spirit aligning with the unstoppable decree that your time has come. There is an elegance in surrender, a quiet grandeur in trusting that the divine orchestrator has laid out a path far more creative and far-reaching than you could concoct on your own. Also remember that this final step, though personal in its manifestations, ripples out to touch more lives than just your own. When a destiny unfolds in power, it seldom remains confined to one person's benefit. Your transformation becomes a testimony that can pierce the gloom in others' souls, sparking hope where cynicism reigns. Family, friends, even strangers might witness your overnight revolution and begin to question whether they, too, might experience a miraculous turning point. In this way, your readiness can become a catalyst for countless others, forging a chain reaction of awakened hearts. The universe loves such expansions, delighting in how a single act of faith can set entire communities aglow. Comment 777 again. If you are prepared to be a vessel that blesses not just your own life but the collective spirit, each digit typed is your quiet acceptance that you stand not for yourself alone, but as a beacon that might guide many through their own final nights toward dawn. This perspective frees you from the narrow lens of self-interest, anchoring you instead in the higher law of love, where your blessings multiply as you allow them to overflow into the lives around you. Let us also acknowledge that one night left implies urgency, but not panic. There is a crucial difference. Panic arises when you scramble frantically without direction. Urgency is the heightened clarity that every gesture and every prayer now counts. Urgency is the friend of those who know a critical hour is at hand, spurring them to rid themselves of distractions and hollow pursuits. Perhaps this means stepping back from negative influences or from fruitless endeavors that have devoured your time. Perhaps it means more deeply cultivating the faith practices that align you with the divine current, be it prayer, reflection, or creative expression. By focusing on what nourishes your soul, you amplify your receptivity to the final step looming on the horizon. Comment 777. If you choose to dwell in this urgency, not letting it topple into anxiety but harnessing it for spiritual momentum, each digit typed broadcasts your firm decision to use these remaining hours wisely, to purge the trivial from your mind, and to hold your heart in an elevated stance of expectancy. The universe, perceiving your dedication, intensifies its orchestration of events so that each detail converges in perfect harmony at the break of dawn. As you stand on the brink of that dawn, do not be startled if a sense of hush envelops you. In the final hours before a massive shift, often the world grows strangely quiet, as if nature itself braces for the unveiling. You might hear your own heartbeat, might catch the flutter of your pulse in your veins, might sense an intangible hush in the atmosphere. Allow that hush to cradle you rather than unsettle you. It is the universe's way of saying all is poised, remain steady. Sometimes the greatest transformations erupt from the silent tension that precedes them. By meeting that tension with calm, rather than panic, you align your internal world with the cosmic plan, ensuring that you do not sabotage the final step by frantic missteps. Comment 777 once more. If you sense that hush already creeping into your world, if you can relate to the idea that your spirit is preternaturally calm amid swirling external circumstances, each digit typed declares your commitment to this poised readiness, to letting the hush work for you rather than against you. This calm is your shield against any last-minute attempts of doubt to derail you from the threshold of destiny. Stay alert, but not frantic. Your final step is neither forced nor coerced, but a graceful acceptance of an invitation far beyond the mundane. When that step arrives, do not be surprised if it unfolds differently from what you anticipated. God often confounds human patterns, choosing to reveal blessings or open doors in a manner you didn't see coming. Maybe a text or call in the dead of night. Maybe a dream so vivid you wake up breathless. Or maybe a small nudge that propels you to a place you seldom frequent, resulting in a pivotal encounter. The universe is endlessly creative and will ensure that if your heart is open, you cannot miss the moment. That's the beauty of divine orchestration. It merges creativity with precision, ensuring that your final step hits you as a dazzling surprise you nonetheless recognize as your rightful next chapter. Comment 7777 if you are ready to greet the unforeseen with open arms, no matter how unorthodox the method. Each digit typed is your silent pledge that you place no constraints on how heaven can move. By removing those constraints, you widen the scope for miracles to manifest. This is where your faith meets infinite possibility, birthing results that rational minds may dismiss, but awakened souls will celebrate. In that celebration, you confirm what your spirit has known all along, that you were never confined to the laws of probability that weigh down lesser dreams. And once the final step materializes, once you see how swiftly a single night can reorder your destiny, remember to hold gratitude at the forefront. Gratitude is the guardian that keeps your newly attained blessings intact. It wards off arrogance and fosters humility, a humility that acknowledges that while your readiness played a role, the orchestration belonged to a higher realm. In gratitude, you remain intimately connected to the source of your breakthrough, ensuring that you carry forward not just success, but the wisdom and gentleness to handle it. This posture also ensures that future blessings continue to find you in your new domain, for the universe invests more in those who remain mindful of the grace that uplifted them. Comment 777. If you vow to guard your heart with gratitude once your final step unfolds, each digit typed cements your intention to let appreciation saturate your soul, preventing the illusions of self-sufficiency or entitlement from corroding what the divine has entrusted to you. Indeed, the path from heartbreak to wholeness, from bondage to freedom, from doubt to absolute faith, is never about personal vanity. It is about reflecting back the unstoppable love and creativity that shaped your journey. In the aftermath of your final step, life may feel surreal for a time. The old structures, routines, and limiting beliefs might appear suddenly irrelevant, overshadowed by the new reality you've stepped into. Let that process unfold without fear. You are merely adjusting to a dimension that once existed only in your hopes. Encourage yourself to explore these changed landscapes with curiosity, forging new routines, forging new relationships that align with your elevated perspective. Some old ties may dissolve naturally if they cannot harmonize with your growth. Bless them, release them, and progress unburdened, for the next dawn calls your name with unstoppable clarity. Comment 777 again if you sense the magnitude of this post-transformation life, if you commit to exploring it with open curiosity rather than clinging to old definitions of who you should be. Each digit typed proclaims that you will not sabotage the gift of your final step by longing for the safety of your past. It proclaims that you welcome the challenge of adapting to a realm where your potential is finally unleashed, where the universe itself stands as your collaborator in actualizing miracles. Yes, chosen one, only one night is left. Stay ready, for by the time that night surrenders to dawn, everything you cling to as normal might shift into a new normal, saturated with wonder. Let your every breath in these hours be an affirmation of readiness. Let your prayers or meditations carry an edge of expectancy. Let your gaze rest on the horizon, physically or metaphorically, as though watching for a glimmer of sunrise. Symbolically, that is precisely what you're doing, scanning the boundary between the world you know and the world you've yearned for. awaiting the moment they converge. Comment 777. For the final time in this encounter, anchoring yourself in the solemn vow that you will remain unwavering through this last stretch of the night. Each digit typed is a clarion announcement to the cosmos that you stand poised, that you have done all you can to prepare, and that you trust the divine to accomplish what only the divine can. This synergy of your readiness and heaven's omnipotence sets the stage for a dawn that breaks upon your life with unstoppable brilliance. Thus, breathe easy. You do not need to conjure this miracle through sheer force of will. You simply need to hold your posture of faith, to stay attuned, and to welcome the improbable. God has prepared a final step that dwarfs your anxieties, your overthinking, and your past failures. It transcends every negative label once placed on you by others or by yourself. It is the culminating stroke in the masterpiece of your life so far, poised to unfold in the fleeting hours that remain of this pivotal night. Go forth, beloved soul, carrying this message in your heart. The universe stands in hush, applauding your courage, your willingness to believe, your relentless heart that refused to crumble no matter how dark the night seemed. When the final step arrives, let your spirit soar in gratitude, then rise to the occasion, secure in the knowledge that a cosmic plan, larger than your mortal mind could contrive, has gently ushered you into a destiny that only you can fulfill. This is your hour, this is your moment. Only one night is left. Stay ready. And when dawn comes, step forward and let the world witness how quickly divine favor can rewrite a life that once stood battered by storms. The final step belongs to you. Embrace it and let history reflect the magnificence that emerges when a soul stands unwavering in the hush before God's final unveiling.